Good, happy Sunday evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Sunday evening edition of Good Evening, New Hampshire. It's January 26, 2020. I hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday evening. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this Sunday evening edition of Good Evening, New Hampshire, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. Let's begin with the news. First up, we're going to begin with local news. American Red Cross campaign offers free smoke alarms. 4 lives saved in New Hampshire. 700 lives saved nationwide by campaign. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9, Cherise LeClaire.
In my line of work, I come face to face with a lot of behinds. So I know there's a big need for Gas X Maximum Strength. It works fast, relieving pressure, bloating, and discomfort before you know it. So no one needs to know you've got gas. Gas X.
New Hampshire firefighters have responded to multiple fires recently in which there were no working smoke alarms. So the Red Cross tonight is reminding people of its free program. As part of the Home Fire campaign, Red Cross volunteers will come to your home, install free smoke alarms, and educate people about home fire safety. Red Cross New Hampshire and Vermont officials say this program has already saved lives.
We've saved close to 700 nationwide, and here in New Hampshire, we've saved 4 lives since we started the program. So the program does work. When you hear the smoke alarm, you will leave the house.
Now, to learn more and request smoke alarms, you can call the number that's running on the bottom of your screen right now. If someone in your home is deaf or hard of hearing, they can install shaker alarms as well.
Okay, and there you go. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into national news. In national news, concern grows as officials expect dangerous disease to spread. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Medical nightmare, the coronavirus outbreak. China's president now warning of a, quote, grave situation. More than 50 million people on a travel lockdown in Wuhan, the center of the epidemic, and surrounding cities. The streets there an eerie ghost town tonight, while officials here at home brace for the worst. On alert for signs of the virus. At least 2 confirmed cases, with dozens more possibly investigated across 22 states. Here's ABC's Kaylee Hartung.
Tonight, concern growing in the United States. Officials saying they expect more people will contract the dangerous new disease. Passengers on flights to Boston wearing face masks.
Everybody is wearing the mask because they're afraid of getting infected by other people.
In Seattle, Chicago, and Los Angeles, reports that stores are running out of supplies of masks. 2 cases currently confirmed. In Chicago, a woman in her 60s.
She had cold-like symptoms, shortness of breath, fever. And many times it would present just like a cold, just like a cold or flu.
And outside Seattle, a man in his 30s. At least 63 people are now being tested for the respiratory illness in 22 states, including 3 possible cases in New York. Symptoms include fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath. Tonight, hospitals on high alert. Dr. Jennifer Ashton visited New York City's Health and Hospitals Bellevue.
So this is a negative pressure room here at the hospital where a patient with coronavirus would be cared for by specially trained medical personnel.
They showed her precautions they would need to take.
How prepared are you and your staff to receive a patient who may have coronavirus?
We're prepared to take that patient now. Our radar is always set high, so we can screen these patients so we can stop it from infecting other people and the public.
And we are in the middle of flu season.
Kaylee joins us now live tonight. And Kaylee, officials conducting tests on the dozens who may have contracted this deadly virus. And we understand there's a new development out of Canada tonight.
That's right, Tom. The Centers for Disease Control is conducting those tests. The results take several days to process. U.S. health officials say they will alert the public if any new cases are confirmed. And Tom, we are just learning tonight from medical authorities in Ontario, Canada. They are working the first presumptive positive case of coronavirus in that country. Tom.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into weather. And weather, a tranquil week ahead. Let's take a listen to that weather video from meteorologist Chris Jerlinska.
Hi folks, meteorologist Chris Jarzinka in, and besides a few scattered snow showers dropping some fresh powder in and north of the White Mountains, there really isn't a lot going on. I mean, January has been such a quiet month weather-wise around here, and it looks to continue that way through the end of the month. There's really not much going on. What you're seeing here, there's a bit of a weather disturbance, but it's also homegrown clouds and snow showers. What do I mean? Well, it's breezy. That breeze is going to continue out of the west and northwest, bumps in against the mountains. The air can't go into the ground, it's forced to rise. When it rises, it cools, and what condensation is in the air, well, it condenses, turns into clouds, and eventually some snow showers. That's what we're going to have for the next couple of days, as long as that wind and this upper-level disturbance in the atmosphere continues to kind of swing across. A lot of it's also lake effect snow. But look at this. I mean, there is just not much to talk about at all. Very, very quiet weather, as the overall jet stream pattern is blowing from west to east, keeping Pacific air, not Arctic air in here, and really keeping any major storm systems from forming. Because for big storms to form, we need the jet stream to dip to the south, tap into a lot of moisture either through the Gulf of Mexico or the Atlantic, and create those northeasters. That's just not going to be the case. Yeah, we do have some moisture here in through Florida, but this is going to skip out to sea. It looks like potentially, and I mean potentially, our next weather maker is this little batch of clouds all the way out in the Pacific Ocean. Eventually it will make it across. It really is uncertain now, though, whether it will even get close enough to give us anything, and by that time, it's next weekend. So as I had mentioned, the rest of this month is quiet. So for the overnight hours, our low is dropping to only around 30 up north and in the lower 30 south. The average low is 10 degrees, so we are still 20 degrees above normal. It will be breezy, so it will feel colder, and because of that breeze, along the spine of the Green Mountains, and at least for most of our viewers, along the spine of the White Mountains and points north, that's where we'll see the continued snow shower activity, possibly adding up to anywhere from a coating to an inch, maybe 2 inches in some of the higher terrain. But again, other than that, pretty uneventful weather. And it really is the same thing for the day on Monday. We're talking about highs. Okay, the average high this time of year should be 31. We're 10 degrees warmer than that in Concord. We're even above freezing up north. And temperatures are pretty much in the lower to mid-40s in the southern and eastern New Hampshire, near 40 in the Monadnock region, darn close to it in the Upper Valley, Plymouth area as well, 40 in Laconia. The breeze will make it feel colder by about 5 or 10 degrees or so, but still, it's January after all. Most of the cloud cover and snow shower activity in and north of the White Mountains with that wind coming in out of the west and northwest. Could still have a few stray flurries, possibly making it through the Monadnock region, and don't be surprised if a flurry or sprinkle manages to wander away and find its way into southern and eastern New Hampshire too. That will be the exception, not the rule. Here's your next 7-day forecast. So there's that 41 for the day on Monday. We do cool off a bit, so still a few scattered snow showers in the mountains, and maybe, just maybe, if the wind turns right, possibly a flurry or sprinkle along the coast on Tuesday with some ocean effect snow. But our temperatures are still above freezing, at least in southern New Hampshire. Still above freezing in southern New Hampshire on Wednesday, too, and skies get brighter. The brightest day of the week will, ironically enough, be the coldest. We won't get to freezing. Then again, we're not supposed to this time of year. Just keep that in mind. And then it warms right back up on Friday. And there is that storm potential. It would be late Saturday night, or into early Sunday. Seems like all of our storms are on the weekends. And really, I have to tell you, folks, to be honest, it may not happen at all. It might miss us to the south. Stay tuned to that one. Put a bookmark in it. Otherwise, enjoy the tranquil last week of January. Thanks very much for clicking on this WMUR Weather on the Web videocast.
Okay, and there you go on that weather video from meteorologist Chris Jerzinska. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into sports. And here's a look at your sports this evening. Good, happy Sunday evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to Sports with Riley King. Let's begin. Kobe Bryant from the Lakers, former basketball player, dead in Calabasas helicopter crash along with daughter and 7 others. Let's take a listen to that video and that report. Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to my evening news report right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. Kobe Bryant dead in Calabasas helicopter crash along with daughter, 7 others. Basketball legend Kobe Bryant has died after a helicopter crash in Calabasas killed all 9 people on board. A representative from the Lakers confirmed to Eyewitness News. A spokesman for the National Transportation Safety Board told ABC News that a helicopter crashed on a hillside in the town of Calabasas around 10 a.m. The circumstances surrounding the crash are unknown, and an investigation is ongoing. Initial reports indicated that 5 people were on board and killed in the crash, but at an afternoon press conference, Los Angeles County Sheriff said the passenger manifest indicated there were 9 people on board, a pilot and 8 passengers, and officials now believe that all 9 people died in the crash. Bryant's daughter, 13 years old, was also reportedly one of the passengers on board the aircraft, according to an ESPN source. They were on their way to a travel basketball game, along with another player and parent. The other victims have not been identified. The 41-year-old Bryant spent his entire professional basketball career with the Los Angeles Lakers and won 5 championships. Bryant was drafted to the NBA directly out of Lower Marona High School in Ardmore, Pennsylvania, a suburb of Philadelphia. He was the 13th choice in the first round of the 1996 NBA draft. Dozens of people began to gather on an intersection near the site of the crash in Calabasas Sunday afternoon, as well as at the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles, where Bryant played for years. Bryant was the 4th highest scorer in NBA Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we will be sure to keep you updated as more news and information develops. Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl was today, and let's take a look at the final score from the game. And here's a look at the final score of the Pro Bowl game. NFC All-Pros 33 and AFC All-Pros 38. AFC All-Pros won the game today. Boston Celtics are currently playing a game right now. Boston Celtics at New Orleans Pelicans, and the current score of the game, Boston Celtics 20 and New Orleans Pelicans 26. New Orleans Pelicans are winning the game right now. You can watch the game on ESPN, FSNO, and NBSB. And that is for this evening edition of Sports with Riley King. I hope you all enjoyed watching this evening edition of Sports with Riley King. Have a great rest of your Sunday evening. I'll be back here tomorrow for another edition of Sports with Riley King. Good night and bye, everyone. Okay, and there you go with sports. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into your New Hampshire Life segment. In New Hampshire Life, ready, set, learn to curl. 7 p.m. at Plymouth State University. Also happening tonight on the event calendar, The Machine performs Pink Floyd, 7 p.m. at the Tupelo Music Hall. That is a look at your evening event calendar in New Hampshire. Cook's Corner. Seared scallops with tomato curry sauce. If you're looking for something to cook this Sunday evening or later on in the week, here is a recipe for you. Let's take a look.
Huge tax breaks for the rich while the middle class continues to struggle. That's what happens when billionaires are able.
Cook's Corner is on the road today. We are in Salem at Barron's Major Brands. We got some heavy hitters. We're going to talk about New Hampshire Wine Week. We have Christine from the Easter Seals, and we have Chef Matt from the Foundry. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course.
Chef, let's start with you. What are you making today?
So we're going to do seared scallops with a tomato curry sauce.
Oh, wow.
And
look at that nice little bubbling all in there.
with green peppers and sorrel. This is actually one of the dishes we're serving for our dinner.
Very nice. Hey, Christine, while you go ahead and you assemble this, Christine, tell me a little bit about why this is such a big deal for Easter Seals.
It's a very big deal for us. We're going into our 17th year of the Winter Wine Spectacular, which is, we lovingly call it the Super Bowl event of Wine Week. Whereas Pats are not playing this year, so at least you can think of a Super Bowl in a good way.
Ouch, okay.
Winter Wine Spectacular. I know, that was a soft nudge. But it really is wonderful for us because Easter Seals has 12 core programs. We help the full life cycle of need, whether somebody's been born with a disability or special need, or something's happened later on in life, all the way up to our veterans programs and substance misuse. What we love about the Winter Wine Spectacular that over the course of the past 16 years, it's raised $2.2 million, and it's helping our babies. We actually have the funds restricted for this particular event for our early supports and services, which helps children born with a disability or special need or developmental delay to get the services that they really need. And these families could otherwise not be able to afford. So having an event like the Winter Wine Spectacular raises significant funds for a very important program of Easter Seals. So it's helping our youngest clients.
Right, and so obviously very serious need there, but this is a fun night. So what can folks expect when they come out and support you folks?
They can expect to be wowed. If they've never been, you're going to walk in, and we walk into the Grand Tasting alone, has over 20 restaurants, over 200 wine and food tables. We also have a high-end room, the Bellman Cellar Select, which is sold out, but there's 10 more restaurants in there, including the Foundry, that's going to be in there. And so people can have an experience for the high-end room, but also the Grand Tasting. Overall, we have 1,800 wines, 30 restaurant and food vendors. We have a massive silent auction. We have tower wine raffles. We have Meet the Makers, where they're going to be able to meet David Feeney, who's named Winemaker of the Year by Wine Enthusiast. We have special suites this year so people can enjoy their wine journey. And every year we add something a little different. So guests who've been coming for many years, they're going to see something new yet again in our 17th year.
It sounds like a great pairing, and of course, anytime you can pair food and wine, that's a great opportunity for you. What do you like about that aspect?
I just like the fun of it. Yeah. You know, tasting these wines, sometimes you get different notes, different things that come out, you know, and it's amazing pairing the food with the wine on what the food will bring out for different flavors, or, you know, vice versa. So
very nice. Real quick, if anybody's interested in tickets, how do they find you?
Well, we do have the Easter Seal site, but because we are part of Wine Week with our partnership with the New Hampshire Liquor Commission and the liquor outlets, we really try to drive everybody to NewHampshireWineWeek.com, because that has all the things happening throughout the Wine Week. The Cellar Notes event, the Foundry event on that Wednesday, and on January 23rd is the Winter Wine Spectacular.
Very nice. All right. Thank you guys so much. This is starting to smell really good. I can't wait to get a bite of this. Thank you guys so much for your time. Appreciate you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, and there you go. Winter Wine Week. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into entertainment news. Sneak peek of this year's Grammys in this CEO controversy. Let's take a listen to that video from Good Morning America /ABC News.
Welcome back to GMA. Tonight is music's biggest night. The Grammy Awards will kick off with some newcomers expected to take home top prizes. But the show taking place amid an explosive scandal with the ousted CEO of the Recording Academy making serious allegations. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez joins us from Los Angeles with the very latest. Marcy, good morning.
Whit, good morning. That controversy is on a lot of people's minds, but we talked to some of the stars last night at Clive Davis's annual pre-Grammys party. They all said they aren't letting it distract from the spotlight being put on these deserving artists. This morning, the 62nd annual Grammy Awards just hours away.
This is exciting.
The biggest stars in music coming together to honor the best of the best.
All of show business shows up. Everyone who has been nominated, that's an honor.
Lizzo, the most nominated artist this year, with nods in all of the major categories. Along with Billie Eilish, who's also expected to have a big night.
So you're a tough guy.
Both are among the performers taking the stage, along with many others, including Ariana Grande, Aerosmith, and Lil Nas X, who's planning a much-anticipated collaboration with several artists, including BTS.
I know they're going to be the fan favorite already.
The night's excitement coming with a side of drama after the Recording Academy ousted its CEO less than 2 weeks ago, accusing her of abusive behavior. Deborah Dugan denying that and accusing the Academy of issues including sexism, which its leadership denies. The stars staying neutral, but saying the allegations put a spotlight on the ongoing need for gender equality.
In all genres of our businesses and our world, not just the arts, we're dealing with this, and it's about time. That's why Time's Up happened, because it's about time that we start looking at that.
Many watching to see how the controversy is addressed, but staying focused on what music's biggest night is all about.
It's a time where all artists kind of come together, and, you know, it's a party to celebrate the work.
And there will also be a tribute in tonight's show to rapper and activist Nipsey Hussle, who was shot to death last year. And Alicia Keys will be back to host the Grammys for the second year in a row. Dan.
Marcy, thanks so much. If you're a Nipsey Hussle fan, if you watch that Netflix show, Rhythm and Flow, the sort of reality show for rappers, he makes a cameo. He's quite a character.
He really did make a difference in his life and in the community. I mean, I covered that story extensively in Los Angeles.
A lot of talent lost there.
Yeah.
Well, hey there.
Okay, and there you go. And that is it for this evening edition of Good Evening New Hampshire. I hope you all enjoyed watching this edition of Good Evening New Hampshire. Have a great rest of your Sunday evening. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another edition of Good Evening New Hampshire. Goodbye, everyone.